What's going on, guys? We're here back. It's been a while. Today we're going to be cooking some Dal Pakwan. It's a very Sindhi dish, let's just say it like that. And it's one of my favorites as well. I mean, all of them are. But this is basically a very interesting dish because not many places of India make it. You have dal, which is your standard Tadka dal. It specializes is that you eat it with a pakwan. Now, pakwan is basically a fried puri, a fried bread basically. It's flat like this and it's crunchy. You get a bit of this, just dip that in there. It looks like that. And all that flavor, all that goodness. It's heaven on earth. So we're gonna learn. It's heaven on earth. You wanna know how to make it? Stay tuned for more, and I'll be seeing you shortly. So first thing we're gonna start is with the dough, which is gonna be the pakwan, fried bread. So here we have 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, olive oil. We have some ajwain seeds here. We have some cumin seeds over here, and we have salt. So you put the 2 cups of flour in a bowl like this. Just make a bit of space here. So you take 1 tablespoon of salt, put that in there. For the ajwain seeds, we take half a teaspoon, something like that. And for the cumin seeds, we take 1 tablespoon, so something like this. So you add a bit of olive oil first, just a little bit, just so that it mixes up a little bit, you know, like this. Gets mixed. You get all these knots in there. You see if you can like knead it. Obviously you can because there's not much oil. And you add just a little bit of water because what you want to do is bind it first. And this dough is going to be a dry dough. It's not going to be really a soggy, soft dough like pizza dough or anything, because the pakwans have to be fried later on. And the drier it is, the crunchier it will be. So you see we just added a little bit of water, and now you can see you're able to pick it up and form knots like this, which is what we want. And we're going to be adding water according to that. So we add just a little bit more water. I add carefully because if it goes beyond what is needed, it's not ultimately destroyed, but then you have to knead more. A little bit more on the sides, and then you knead. As you see now, most of it has become a big dough like this. And now for the little bits that are left on the sides, we'll just add a bit of oil, and that will get everything that's around it. So we just add a little bit of oil on the sides like that. Not much. Scrape off everything. That will also help us get rid of everything that's on our hand as well. And you just knead it into a firm, round dough. And now what we're gonna do is just cover it, just like you do for pizza dough. We're gonna cover it and leave it for around 15 to 20 minutes. It won't not rise, it just becomes more consistent. So that's how it should be looking. It's dry, it's kind of hard. Just give it a bit of standard shape. There, we cover it, and 15 to 20 minutes later we'll be using it. So now in the meantime we'll be making the dal. So we have here the ingredients for the Tadka dal. The dal is ready. This is chana dal here. It's been soaked for overnight. You can soak it for a minimum of 3 hours. This is approximately 1.5 cups that have been soaked. Next we have here is a whole tomato that's been chopped. Some ginger, some garlic as well, chopped. We have our 2 jugs of water over here, garam masala, coriander powder, turmeric powder, a bit of red chili, and the asafetida, hing, And for the tadka later on, we have here some cumin seeds and a bit more of garlic. So you'll be needing a pressure cooker because this will allow you to cook the dal faster and make sure that it's not hard when you eat it later on. So we put on the heat, we put our pan in there, and we put oil first. What we want is to heat up the oil, and once that starts heating up, we will add the ingredients. If you feel it, you add the garlic and you add the ginger. Stir it around. You want your heat to be in medium-low because you don't want your items to burn. So we're just going to reduce a bit the heat initially, stirring it, and once the flavors start coming out, you add the tomato. Stir it for a while. So we add 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida hing like this. We add a 1/4 of chili as well. That depends on you. You can add more, but this is quite strong. 1/4 like this. You add half of turmeric like this. 1 teaspoon of ground coriander like this. And you add 1 teaspoon of ground garam masala like this. Mix it. Make sure that while you're adding the spices, they're not getting burnt. So you'll have something like this, like a paste tomato. And next, what you do is you add the dal. So once you've added all the dal in there, just give it a nice stir. And we're gonna cover it with water. And we're gonna leave this much above of it. So a thumb wise on top of the dal. So you keep adding. Approximately half a thumb. We're gonna add a bit more water. And I think that much is fine, maybe a little bit more. And that's like pretty much, if you look at it, that's half a thumb above the level of the dal. So once you've added the water and it's covered, you add approximately 1 tablespoon of salt. I'd say that's enough approximately. Maybe a bit more because that was not a tablespoon. And anyways, if the salt is missing now, you can add that later on. So it's better to be safe than sorrow. Just give it a stir. Make sure that everything's leveled down from the edges. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna cover it. And we're gonna cook it for approximately 1 to 2 whistles. So it's been 2 whistles already. We're gonna open it up and see how it looks. Just take that one out here. Make sure that all the steam is gone. There we go. There we go. Pick it up. There you go. You can see that it's done. Like the lentils are really soft as well. It's really hot. So what we're gonna do next now is we're gonna kind of mush it up a little bit. We're gonna use this tool, which is gonna allow us to break it down a little bit and make it into a soft kind of puree, semi-puree, not fully. And we want to mix it from the bottom and bring it up. Bottom and bring it up. So you want a few lentil pieces, but most of it is gonna be crushed into a gravy-like mixture. So this is it basically. As you see, we've broken down the lentils, and as this is mixed with the water now, it's going to become thicker and thicker as we leave it, and you're going to have a bit of lentil, a bit of that lentil soup, everything mixed up together. So next thing what we're going to do is going to give it the tadka. So we take a small pan, put a bit of oil. This is basically what's going to go on top of it. So that much is fine because it's kind of like an addition to the main mixture. You add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. We've added the cumin seeds. As you can see, the oil's not hot yet, so we're just gonna wait a little bit. As soon as it starts bubbling, which you can see now, we're gonna add the other things. So you take 1 tablespoon of chaat masala. You take half of amchur, which is mango masala, half. And you take half of chili. Just mix it all up. You want it to be bubbling like this, and you pour it into the mixture over there. So we're just gonna make it a bit hotter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fry the pakwans. I'm gonna show you how to do that as well. So we're gonna make the pakwan now. This was the dough that we made earlier. Looks like this now, still hard. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of oil in our hands. We're gonna take a bit of oil in our hands just so that it doesn't get stuck to us. All this as well. Just gonna take a little bit like this, and we're gonna make a round dough, just like we do for pizza, for example. So there we have it, guys. The size of it depends on what your recipient size is. Ours is quite small, so we're making small ones. Now, one important thing is that we need to make holes in this. So we're gonna take a fork, you're just gonna make holes like that into it. This, what it does is avoids it from rising when you're frying it, so that it stays flat, because otherwise it beats the whole point of the pakwan. These are not air-filled puris or anything like that. These are flat fried pakwans, and that won't allow it to rise. Just make sure your oil is hot. We've added a little bit here. You can see kind of a semi-hot. So we're gonna start frying in a little bit. So we take our ready pakwan here and just insert it in there, and it'll start frying up. Hard for you. What you want to keep doing is this, so that it doesn't rise up a lot. See, if we hadn't made those holes, it would have rised a lot more. And now what we do is we keep turning it as well, so that it keeps frying on both sides properly and evenly. And we're looking for a golden reddish kind of color. See, it's getting toasted on the sides now. So what you're looking for is this kind of color, which is kind of a toasted golden reddish. And once you have that on both sides, that's fine. You can make it crispier, it's up to you. A lot of recipes calls for making it crispier than this. We kind of like it like this. So what we're gonna do now is just gonna let the oil get out, and we put it out inside there. So you're gonna repeat this procedure with all the dough that you have left. That can be stored actually. Once you cook it, you can leave that for a week approximately as well, to eat it throughout the week. So we're gonna be doing that, and we'll see you in a bit. So it's all done. We have the fried pakwan over here. This is how it's looking. All of them have been fried nicely and evenly. We have the dal with the tadka as well, who's thickened up as well. You can see it's quite thicker now. So we're just gonna plate it. So the best way to plate this is get yourself a bowl, add the dal, you add a bit of this tamarind sauce. It's a tamarind chutney. Add that over here like this. Just add any decoration. You can add as much as you want, because the dal itself is like salty and spicy. And then you have the sweet tamarind sauce. And next, you just add a bit of onions on top. And there you have it. That is the dish. So you have dal and you have pakwan. That's that's the dish. So you get a bit of this. Just dip that in there. It looks like that. And all that flavor, all that goodness. 7 on earth. So that's all for today, guys. If you liked our recipe, give us a like, subscribe, stay tuned for more. And that's that. I'll be seeing you next time.